Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this Aston Township Board of Commissioners meeting for Wednesday, December 21st, 2022 to order. We all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, before we get started, I'd like to make a statement on behalf of the board. The Board of Commissioners is aware of the noise and vibration issue that is coming from the opening of the Springbrook facility. We are advised that the Trammell Crow intends to construct a sound barrier wall. They will be submitting plans to the township for the necessary reviews. The township will work to streamline the process to have the wall constructed as soon as possible. We are continuing to monitor the noise situation that may vibrate our ordinances or validate our ordinances. Actually, we're going to have somebody go out in the first couple of weeks, acoustical engineer, to check out the noise variances going on there. We have to remind the occupant of the facility that at no times is idling of the diesel vehicles allowed for more than 15 minutes. We do share your concerns about the noise and vibration issues and are committed to seeking a solution that will improve your quality of life. So we'll try to handle that as quick as we can for you. So with that, I need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of November 16th, 2022. I have a second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. I'd like to move on to committee reports. Commissioner Dockery.
Okay, I have before me the treasurer's report. 22. Total operating cash in the general fund as of November 30th, 2022 was $2,333,995. Other funds include the TD Bank ARF fund account with a balance of $779,479. The Pliget fund, which is the 2022 loan, $9,964,746. The TD Bank capital checking account with a balance of $685,100. Total cash balance for the township as of November 30th, 2022 was $19,291,447. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Commissioner Pendergrass.
Got something I'm going to read here before the Public Works Activity Report. Aston Township offices and Public Works Department will be closed on Friday, December 23rd. All Thursday, December 22nd, and Friday, December 23rd. Trash and recycling will be picked up on Thursday, December 22nd. Township offices and Public Works Department will be closed on Monday, December 26th. All Monday, December 26th, and Tuesday, December 27th. Trash and recycling will be picked up on Tuesday, December 27th. Now we proceed on to the Public Works Activity Report. The following report highlights the main activity of the Public Works Department. All metal was picked up throughout the township. All township vehicles and Aston Police Department vehicles were maintained and serviced. All streetlight issues were reported to Lenai Electric for replacement or repair. All township parks and properties had branches and trash removed by the Highway Department. All small engine repairs were completed in-house. All 811 call sheets were reviewed and applicable streets were marked as per 811 guidelines. We started our move to our new building location on 1 Catania Way. Our team started mulching leaves in all the parks. We mulched the majority of our parks two times, which puts complete mulch by the end of the rest of December. We started preparing all of our trucks for the winter season. We prepped the area of our new salt storage bin. Install is scheduled to begin in December. Our sanitation department picked up 60.19 tons of recycling and 520 tons of residential waste. We also picked up 6,860 pounds of metal, which was recycled at $6 per 100 pounds, for a total of $411.60. A reminder to all residents to dispose of all medical waste property, as radiation can be found on something as small as a tissue or an adult diaper. Nuclear medicine patients should contact their doctor for instructions on the proper disposal of medical waste. Please remember that the first full week is metal and appliance week. Bulk trash week no longer exists. Anything that can be burnt can be put out on your curb for trash at any time. Please have your trash at the curb by 6 a.m. on a designated trash day. Any questions or complaints, please contact Russ Paddlemore, Director of Public Works, at 610-494-8005. And that's all I have, Commissioner Scott.
Thank you, Commissioner Pendergrass. Commissioner Barry?
Thank you, President. This is the police report for December 2022. The incidents occurred in November 2022. Incidents handled 459, accident investigations 33, criminal investigations 37, criminal cases cleared 35. Part 1 crimes clearance rate was 82%, Part 2 crimes was 95%. That's it.
Thank you, Commissioner Barry. Commissioner Higgins, please.
Thank you. Before I read my report, I just want to make mention of something. In the back there, the row before Detective Nardone is Kathy Pack. She's been at the last 3 or 4 meetings inquiring about roundabouts and slowing down traffic in front of St. Joseph up there and so forth. And don't look at so hard. So anyway, I just found out Kathy's aunt passed away in October, 102 years old.
2 weeks before.
Pardon?
2 weeks before her 102nd.
2 weeks before her 102nd birthday, so 102 years old. Her name was Josephine Caramanico. Did I say it right? Caramanico.
Close, yeah.
So she was 102. I also found out that she was one of the first parishioners of St. Joseph's Parish in 1947. So I just wanted to recognize her, give my condolences to Kathy. Being a parishioner up in St. Joe's, I saw her and her husband, her late husband, for years and years up there. I didn't know who they were, And then one time I found out from Kathy who they were. So just wanted to, make that known to everybody, okay? All right, thank you. All right, my report. Building and Code report, dated December 19, 2022. The following is a report for the permits and licenses issued for the month of November 2022. We had a beginning balance of $485,523. There was total income from building permits and general contractors licenses of $10,739. Total electrical permits and licenses, $2,799. Total plumbing and heating permits and licenses, $3,225. Then there was income from Board of Health licenses, $150. Nothing from peddlers and vendor permits. Nothing from commercial maintenance inspections. And then there was income from certificates of occupancy, $1,950. Income from rental licenses, $15,900. And income from street openings, $425. So the total revenue collected for the month of November was $35,088. The total for 2022 year to date is $520,611. That compares to October of 2021 of $1,040,277. A lot of that was for Sun Valley High School work, Penducco, and other projects. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins. Commissioner Bowden?
I have a bunch of stuff. First, let me give you the library report. Our annual bookmark design contest for school-age children will begin in January. An entry form will be available at the library or downloaded at www.astonlibrary.org. The deadline will be February 28th. The winners will work and will be displayed in the library. They would like you to join the crafting groups. You can learn to craft with a group of supportive peers. The crochet group meets on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. and your general craft group meets on Thursdays at 6:30. That's what I was using, I'm sorry. They meet on Thursday. Bring your child to the weekly story times. Can you hear me? I didn't think I needed a microphone. I'm usually loud enough without it. Bring your child to the weekly story times. Infant, young toddler story time with Miss Raven is Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m. Preschool and older toddler story time with Miss Amy is Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. And now for the good stuff. We had a fabulous Christmas tree lighting here in Aston, and we had a decorating contest. And for all of you residents out there who have decorated your homes absolutely beautifully, this town is magical. It's unbelievable to drive through and see the beautiful homes that are out here. I want to thank the people for the Christmas tree lighting before we get into the houses. So a big thank you has to go out to Brian Palomar and TJ for the gorgeous decorated community center that we have here in our community. Public Works has made all the little houses and the things that sit up there. They're all handmade by the gentlemen that work for our community. Judge Holfelder and the Holfelder family were kind enough to donate the monies for everyone to have their child's picture taken with Santa Claus. Aston Fire Department was wonderful to bring our special guest to us, and Aston Police did a fabulous job of mingling with the children and making them feel welcome at our Christmas tree lighting. The Park and Rec Committee, which I so happen to chair, I can't say thank you enough to these hard-working, wonderful individuals. And most of all, I want to thank Santa and Mrs. Claus for making an appearance in our great community. Now, I would like to announce at this time the winners of the house decorating contest, and it was done by wards this year. So in each ward, there's 7 wards in Aston. In each ward there is a winner and a runner-up. And I'm going to give you the addresses, and I'll make sure that this gets posted so that everyone can see it. So in the first ward, the winner is 205 Grace Road, and the runner-up is 12 Dodonis Lane. In the second ward, it's 33 Roberta Drive, and 102 McLaughlin Drive is the runner-up. In the third ward is 54 Jennifer Lane, and the runner-up is 2265 Crestview Lane. In the fourth ward, it's 3035 Heatherton, and the runner-up is 3155 Richard Road. And in my own ward, it's 228 Brakel Lane and 412 Virginia Lane. In the sixth ward, it's 17 Stewart Avenue, and the runner-up is 2145 North Lee Lane. And then last, in the seventh ward, is 5 Raymond Avenue and 303 Marionville Drive. So everyone out there, please take a ride through the town and look at the winners, and the commissioners had nothing to do with the judging. I just want you all to know that. An individual group of people that went out, and each one did a different award, and I just want to thank all of you and have a Merry Christmas looking at the lights.
Thank you, Commissioner Bowden. Commissioner McGinn, please.
Yes, thanks. I have a fire committee report. Just looking at a couple of the statistics as we get towards year end. Remember, this doesn't include December, but Aston Township, our fire department, has handled 663 fire calls through the end of November, and almost nearly 2,000 EMS calls as well. That's a total of 2,604 calls. For the year, they've had about 30 drills. And a couple of other statistics I always go through, but I think ones that are important, and we should be proud and thankful for the volunteer fire department we have here. We have an average manpower per incident of 8 members, and in terms of time, average EMS dispatch to on scene, 6 minutes and 47 seconds, which I think is very impressive. And average fire dispatch to on scene is 8 minutes and 9 seconds. So that's it for the fire report today, Jim.
Thank you, Commissioner McGinn. All right, I need to have a motion for the approval of the treasurer's report.
Make a motion.
Second.
I have a second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. I need a motion to pay the bills and payroll report.
Motion.
Second.
Second. Questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, I'd like to open up the floor to the public for agenda items only. And since we added the Springbrook situation on the agenda, if someone from Springbrook, that area, wanted to make a comment, you may do so at this time. We ask you to go to the podium. If you have a question, state your name and address. Okay, you need to come to the podium.
Name first?
Yes,
Debbie
name and
Hassel,
address.
14 Woodward Way.
Can you spell your last name, please?
Hassel, Hassel.
Are you reading?
I have
just read.
I have a street over. Yeah.
What's the name again? Didn't hear.
Debbie? Debbie Hassel. I'm at 14 Woodbrook Way.
Okay.
Okay, we are one of the people that are suffering from the vibrations, and it's not just go outside and we're complaining, it's vibrating through our house. I had 4 hours of sleep last weekend due to the vibrations. It's constant throughout our house. Dinner time and sleeping, studying and watching TV. We can't relax. We're wearing noise canceling headphones half the time that we're home. At least me and my daughter are. We're playing noise machines throughout our house. I can't sleep. I can't put my head on the pillow and not hear the vibrations. Some nights it's better than others, but the weekend was 4 hours of sleep for me. I've gone through bad anxiety. I had to do an anxiety medicine because of it. My daughter can't sleep in her new bedroom downstairs. The vibrations are she's on the bottom floor, we're in the bottom level. She has to sleep in her old bedroom, which is facing the front on Woodbrook, because she can close the door, put the noise machine on and a fan, and try to drown out the sound. I had to go to the school on Monday to talk to the counselor because my daughter thought she failed a test. She's a straight A student, and she can't study. She can't concentrate, and she can't sleep. My dog had seizures over the weekend and has never had a seizure before. We had to take her to the vet, and she's on anxiety medicine. That's just the Cliff Notes version, what we're going through. I just want to make you understand that we're not just complaining, that the woods were taken down. It's throughout our house. We have no peace. I come home from work, and I'm more anxious coming home from work than going to work now. I can't stand the thought of pulling in my driveway, getting out of my car, and am I going to hear the noise? And I'm just tired of it, and nobody seems to care. I mean, it's something, I know the wall, if the wall's put up, whatever it is, 15 feet, I want to make sure that an engineer comes to our house, like literally comes into my bedroom, goes out on my deck and make sure it's going to work. Because if we're going to put up a wall and invest all that money, because we're a bi-level, we're on the second floor, I'm going to be able to see right over a 15-foot wall. So I just want to make sure that it's going to help, because if it doesn't, I'm literally going crazy. I have to go to work late because I can't sleep. It's changed our lives. It's not just a nuisance, it's serious.
We're sorry for your situation, and as we stated, we're trying to come to a conclusion.
Okay, well, what is it? What's running? It's a reefer. Like, can't they just, what can they do?
Mike?
First of all, I want to ask a question first, and I'll come back to Robert. Is anybody home at all normally during the day?
My daughter gets home, on weekends, yes. And it was
Yeah.
running all this weekend, the whole time. 5 p.m. Friday to Monday, there's no relief.
Okay, I'm wondering, just so I know, I've been over there a lot during the day, and I've been there at other times, but is there a noise from the refrigerator units or from the trucks idling that that you have heard during the day?
Yeah, all weekend the reaper was running. I guess it's a reaper. I'm assuming. My husband and I walked over,
Walked over.
and it was the reaper.
Yes, it's the reaper. It's not the sound.
Were you-
It's the vibration.
It's not the
Okay, no,
sound.
I understand. Were you walking in the truck bay area?
No.
You were down in your...
I was the woods,
Yes.
easement that's going straight out from my house. I walked back there.
Okay.
I'm on the opposite side of their fence.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you...
What's your name?
I'm Ralph Hassel, 14 Wilbur Way.
Can I call you Debbie?
Yeah.
So repeat again what you were saying about the reefer now.
Or it's what do you mean? Like just
About the noise?
it's the vibrations. Yeah.
Okay.
It does have a lot. I have tons of video. if you
Yeah.
wanna see it.
I'd like to elaborate on that.
Well, you're gonna have one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I have tons of video. If you want to see a video, wanna see
I
what-
think Bill, you showed me the video.
I showed it,
they
yeah.
show ones like 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yes.
and
When we-
my
when
dog
we-
has a seizure at 4 a.m.
When we listened to it in Bill's office earlier in the week, there was hardly any noise that you could hear.
That's
I-
fine. Yeah, it's not the noise.
Yeah, okay, but I can't sense a vibration, from the video, Now, I went and listened to it on my computer, and I turned the sound up. I could hear something, okay?
Yeah.
I can't say that it was a vibration or what it was, but I did hear noise. So I concur that there was a noise. So to answer your question about the reefers, the reasoning is this. In the summertime, they run the reefers because the products that they're carrying and delivering up and down the East Coast, a lot of it is chocolate and stuff like that could melt, okay? And I think you understand that, but you shouldn't have to, worry about that.
I don't care about it. I mean, I understand. I do logistics.
I heard you work for a trucking
several
company.
trucks.
Yeah. And then
At where I work.
in the wintertime,
It's not next to somebody's house.
yeah. In the wintertime, they're running it because, so it doesn't freeze up.
I understand.
So you were asking about the reefer, okay? That's why they run them. I don't have enough knowledge of reefers to know how long they have to run them or not. I just don't have the knowledge. So, when we get to the point of bringing the engineer in, there's going to be testing done before any sound barriers go up, okay? And they're going to target where it's coming from, and then and they'll make the I don't want to say modifications, but they'll create the walls in such a way that it will handle those things. And after the walls go up, they're going to also measure the sound to see the difference. And the ideal place to do it is going to be on your yard, your line, because the noise or the vibrations, whatever it is has to be measured at the who's receiving the noise. In other words, you guys, yeah, rather than go down to the the site itself.
Right.
So we're very cognizant of the problem. It's not something we don't want you to go through that. And we're trying to take all the steps we can to eliminate this problem, because you shouldn't have to deal with this.
Is there something, like say the other night it was half the sound, is there something like they can do temporarily? Because it really is driving me crazy. And my daughter is in 10th grade and she needs for breaks for a second. Like, why was it half one night? Maybe they can park a truck in front of it or something temporary, just for us to.
I'm not picking up everything you're saying.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's right.
I just wonder if there's something temporary they can do while they're, before, like, when's the wall gonna go? Because my daughter's in 10th grade right now, and if she starts failing,
I
she
mean,
has to go to college.
I don't know what you can bring in temporary. I mean, there's no such thing that I know of that's a temporary sound barrier.
Are you guys talking to Fair at all, like to see what they could do? Can you ask them? Like maybe they can put the truck all the way to the end and put another truck in
Well,
front of it?
there's 50 bays on each side of the, 50 bays on that building and 50 in the other building.
Okay.
And I don't know if putting the truck down at the end is I know what you're saying. Bring them up towards
Get
the
it
other
as
way.
far away from my house as possible.
Well,
One.
they have two groups of trucks there. They have the ones that are bringing the products in. They're coming in from multiple manufacturers,
Yeah.
and then they have their trucks. I think, was it 25 trucks or was it 50 they have?
25.
They own 25 trucks that go distribute them down the East Coast. And they're trying to use the bays that are closer to the entrance, you know.
Farthest away from you.
Well, we thought it was running, wasn't that in the middle?
But as they start going full swing, you know, they're going to need to use all their bays. You know, when they come in, I don't know how the drivers know which bay to go to, but I sat down there on Sunday, and I guess it was Monday during the day because the gate would have been locked on Sunday. I sat right in the middle of where all the bays are up against the woods, and 3 trucks came in and 1 went out when I was there. And the 3 trucks, they must call in because they know which bay to go into. So they're getting direction for the bays from somebody inside, I guess.
That's not even what bothers us though. I
Well,
don't
if
care.
it's close to you guys, I can understand.
Right, but I mean, it's the reefer that's running 24/7. I understand you have to run a business. I don't care if I've never even heard anything else. It's just a reefer. Seriously, you're in my house all weekend. You cannot escape it. So if they have to do something temporary for us, because I don't even know Christmas is on Sunday. I've been so stressed out all month that
We will find out what
they could just do
they can do for the
something,
reefers. How long?
Sorry,
How?
can you try not to talk over each other?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I just had a really long one.
We'll see what they can do as far as how long the reefers have to run, when they do, when they don't. I mean, they're not going to. I understand your problem, and I don't want you to take it wrong, but they're not going to let their products be, you know, destroyed either. You know, it's kind of a catch-22 situation. You know.
Commissioner Hayes, not.
Yeah.
Commissioner Hayes,
And I
if
understand.
could suggest-
We understand where we're coming from, and we.
I just,
you know.
at least at night. Because I can't.
If I could suggest, the township engineer is going to be working with the representatives of Trammell Crow, because Trammell Crow, they've started the process, they need to continue the process.
Okay, that's great.
So I think the recommendation can be made as a follow-up to them is what can you do as a temporary measure
Please.
before this wall gets
Please.
constructed?
And it's just the reefer. It's
So
seriously
we'll
nothing
go
else.
ahead and we'll have the engineer reach out about doing
Yes.
what, you know, just to minimize.
Yeah, we could at least sleep at night. I would really appreciate it. My house, if you look out my house, it's just right there. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Go ahead, Deb.
Thanks for telling us.
I can't hear what you said.
Hi, John Marchlick, 18 Woodbrook Way,
Spell your last name, please.
Marchlik. We all missed it. We missed it in planning. Delaware County Planning missed it. Engineering Review missed it. Everyone was thinking of a big internet box company coming here, and no thought at all was given to refrigeration at Riley, called reefer units. So, looked up, you know, the ordinance, performance standards, decibels, etc. Like Deb said, it's strange. I had my son visiting me this past weekend, or the weekend before. They were up 2 weekends. I can tell, I can be sitting in my living room, and I know instantly when the reefer unit is off. Now, the weekends, they tend to be quieter over there. There's fewer vehicles. It's the damn refrigeration units. And it's not necessarily the decibels are high. It must be a resonance frequency that sets the homes going. And remember, you have homes that, side by side. And here's a map from when we reviewed the plans. That just gives you a position of 18 and 14. I think it vibrates between the homes, and it just gets into the walls and the floors. It's crazy. But I know instantly when they're off. You know, for example, if there's one particular one down our way, Bay 50 is closest to me. I was working in a yard yesterday, and I hear this loud noise. I said, that's not a refrigeration unit. So anyway, walked down to the woods, and around Bay 29, there was a blue tractor, must be a contractor, had a sleepover, so it's not one of their trucks. And he was racing his engine, had to be his engine. And I said, what the crap is he racing his engine for? Yeah, I don't know the technical aspect of it. I know about the 15 minutes time limit, and then he shut it down, and it was like heaven again.
John, when was that again?
That was yesterday.
What day?
It was a blue, big tractor with a sleepover cab at bay 29. I didn't have my glasses, but it was 28 or 29. I'd say it was 29.
John, when I went down there on Sunday,
But wait a minute, let me finish, because the time was, the noise ended at 3:15. So you can tell them, whoever it was who was in there, tell them not to do that. I don't think there's a need mechanically to be racing his engine like that. But that was not the reefer, that was the engine of the tractor. And the weekends, again, are quieter. I've been, keeping records and notes of the time. That week of November 28th, that was hell. I mean, they were just loaded with reefers. And picture a diesel engine, because the reefer is powered by either a 2 or 3 cylinder diesel engine, mounted on a hollow metal box 53 feet long, parked against a 30-foot concrete wall. It's just made for generating sound and presenting it to the local surroundings. Now I walked here tonight, so as I walked around a corner on a lamppost, between the first and the second house, I was curious if there was sound, and there definitely is. So it's even reaching them on lampposts. So I don't know, the walls, I guess the performance standards, you can say, well, the decibels aren't up there, but it's just resonance, like Deb was saying, it's weird. But I know, just like that, I was sitting there with my son in the living room, and I said, it's quiet. I said, the sound's gone. He turned his engine off, so I'll go to the window, open it up. Now, tonight, they're out there running the reefers, and, it sets this vibration. It's more it's like a pulsating vibration versus the noise level per se. Now when they get into the wall, it's going to have to go from the back corner of that building out to the turn. Now Southwest has a right of way on part of their property, and the Trumbull has the fence up now. So it's going to have to make that right angle turn and go down some distance. I don't know what distance, but that should shield and block.
That's why we have the acoustical engineers involved and our own engineer who's going to weigh in on this, okay?
Yeah.
So that it can be handled properly.
That's going to be important, and again, the height, I guess the taller the better, and hopefully the substance of the wall will maybe absorb, and again, maybe there can be different type of panels.
We're going to leave that to the engineers. We're going to meet with them. We're going to review what they're tesigning and so forth. So
Yeah.
they're the experts, John.
Yeah,
So
what I'm worried about is, and I hope not, that I watched them tear all the trees out, compact the ground, put the parking lot in there, it's right behind my house. I hope the sound is not coming from the landing gear of the trailers through the ground. Possible. Your acoustical guy is going to have to look at that. Is it coming through the air or is it coming through the ground? I don't know what you would do then. I was looking up the internet overseas, and this is a worldwide problem, reefer units, and there's some kind of mufflers you can mount, to cover it, but it's a little diesel engine, so you can say by rights, again, ordinances, whatever, by rights, they're not allowed to idle those reefers because they are a diesel engine.
there's a 15-minute limit. There's signs posted all over.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's for the tractor. I'm talking the reefer unit. It's a diesel engine. So legally, lawyer could look at it and say, gee, wait a minute, that's right, it's an engine idling. And it's always at a given RPM. You say, well, could they change the damn RPM, make it less resonating? But could legal look at that and say, or at least if you could protect other people, A reefer unit is powered, I'm almost certain, has to be diesel, they won't carry gasoline on it. So is it a 2-cylinder or 3-cylinder? But it is in fact idling. It idles endlessly. So by rights, it's breaking the ordinance. You have an idling engine. I'd like legal to look at that on our behalf. I mean,
We'll take a look at it, and we'll.
I've taken down everything here, so we'll
Yeah.
make sure. Yes. Sir, would you?
Yeah.
Good evening, Rob Haskell, 14 Wilbur Way. My wife did a pretty good job of describing the situation. I've spent countless hours thinking about it and trying to understand where the sound is coming from. It's really, again, it's not a sound, because when you put your head out the window, walk outside and you listen, it really sounds like it's below the decibel level that I would consider annoying. I could deal with that if that's what it was. But I was trying to think of a way to describe what this might feel like, because this is not a sound. All right. If anybody here has ever worked in construction and used a vibrating sander, the frequency of the vibrating sander is probably higher than what this is. This is a lower frequency. But imagine if somebody in the house, somebody was working in your house, and they took a vibrating sander, they put it against the wall on the other side of the house, and you felt that coming through. You didn't hear it, but you felt a vibration. Now, there are certain areas of my house where it's more prominent, and it's always more prominent on the, let's see if I can describe how this is situated. If you're the loading docks, if everybody's sitting here is the loading docks, which is about let's say from the end of the table going out at maybe 200 feet where you're sitting, that's the end of the building, and you're the loading dock number 50, and stretching down out along the ways. My house is situated like this. It's an L shape. It's an L-shaped house. This side of the house on the second floor, if I stand against the wall, 5 feet from the wall, this is what I hear. I hear. And you go outside and you hear. That's it. Okay? That's all down the back side of my house, which is an addition that sticks out the front. I spent $70,000 on an addition. I spent 22 years working on this house. This is my home. And I can't feel the need to move out fast enough. My family's falling apart. My dog is having seizures on the floor. So you walk in the house, you walk around the house, and there's other areas that are affected. My bedroom is at this corner, facing the loading docks. It is the back corner of the house. And my back wall vibrates like that. The wall where my head is, just about this far from the wall, vibrates. I have a bed with a headboard with a little cubby hole, and I put a sound machine that is a true fan. It's a little fan sound machine. I put that in that cubby hole so that my head is right next to it, and that's the only way I can drown out that sound. Now, you have to imagine that if a reefer started running at 5 o'clock on a Friday, which it did last weekend, and ran through to Monday morning at 6:30, and somebody came and picked up that truck or whatever the hell they did. It was all weekend, and that was Saturday night. My dog had 2 seizures. Sunday she had 1. She's 12 years old and she's never had a seizure. She's never had issues, but that sound, she was so agitated you could see it. My daughter's bedroom was on the first floor level. She spent the first 12 years of her life in a little 9x9 bedroom. I decided I'm going to take the room downstairs and I'm going to turn it into a beautiful bedroom for her. I spent 9 months working on it. Sweat, hard labor. We made a beautiful bedroom. Beautiful. I still feel like it's my pride and joy, for my pride and joy. And that room vibrates. And she cannot sleep in it. She's tried multiple times to sleep in that bedroom. She's flipped her head around to the other side of the bed in the hopes that she wouldn't feel it. And luckily, there was a point where, like, wow, this spot in the room hears nothing. I don't feel the vibration. It's like sound waves bouncing off the sound waves, creating patterns. Like I see patterns. When I look around, I think about it, I see patterns. Like the sound is in patterns. Like it's predictable. Like I know where it's going to be in the house, and it's always there when it's there. So she tried her best to stay in that room, and she came up one night sobbing like uncontrollably. She can't do this. She can't do it. It's driving her nuts. So she's back in her old bedroom. We've made a comfortable little nest for her so that she could sleep. And again, this is not sound. This is vibration. This is vibration vibrating my house. And my biggest fear, thank you to everyone who voted for this, to have this building built. My greatest fear is to have to leave my home of 22 years where I expected to potentially retire in. I work in Aston. I've worked in Aston since 1995. And I moved here in 2000 to raise a family and put them through Sun Valley, a great school district. I still think it's a great school district. And I'm being forced out because commissioners who thought that it was okay to build, look at the map, just look at Google Maps. Look down on it and say, does that building belong in this community of neighborhoods? No, it doesn't. And whoever voted for this didn't do their homework, didn't think about what they were building. It blows my mind. So I want to thank everyone, and I want to thank the commissioners who didn't vote for it. And I just want to know, we're one family. We're one family out of maybe 5 that are affected. And thank God the rest of you guys can sleep. But we are the one family that are affected the most. And if they put the money into building this wall and it's not high enough, it's not going to help me. It's got to be high enough to protect my bedroom. I'm ready to invest in a fence around my property. I'm going to ask the township for a variance so I can put up a wall. I can't afford it. I'm trying to put 2 kids through college. 2, as an IT manager. Here in Aston, McGuire Products. Anybody know that company? They have how many buildings in Aston? They're a huge taxpayer, probably the biggest taxpayer in the whole community. I'm their IT manager. I'm their IT manager for 42 buildings in that company. I work my ass off. And I love working in the community that I live. My commute is amazing. I've had a 10-minute commute since 2000. And I'm getting ready to look down Route 1 to try to get out of this. It's tough. It's tough.
Again, we sympathize with you, your family is going through. You're taking a proactive approach to try to come to a solution to the problem.
How soon? We need like somewhere else to live until it stops.
I can't answer that question.
We need restitution to at least go somewhere else.
That's a legal issue. Okay, that's a legal
We
issue.
don't want to do that.
That's a legal issue that I can't answer, but we are doing what we can. I made a statement, our engineers are working on it, they're coming to a solution.
Again, it's not the trucks that pull in and out.
I understand, I understand the problem.
And if the reefers can be held to the one side, if they can park trucks along the back, if they can create their own temporary sound barrier, I don't know. I can talk to the acoustics engineer. It would buy us time.
Right, and again, this is a situation that Trammell Crow created, and fortunately, Trammell Crow is stepping up and they are taking responsibility and they're brainstorming, and that's where they came up with the walls. But as Commissioner Higgins indicated, the engineer is gonna take a look at their plans to make sure that what they're suggesting is actually gonna make a difference. So they're gonna be reaching out, taking some benchmark measurements.
Have them
for-
contact me. I'll
Right.
let
and
them
then
into my house.
They will reach out to you specifically in order to set up where these benchmarks will be. And then their engineers will take a look at the proposals to make sure that what's being proposed will hopefully alleviate or at least minimize the situation. And in the meantime, feel free to reach out directly to Trammell Crow. The townships, we're pushing them as well.
How do we reach out to Trumbull Grove? Is there a contact?
I think Mr. DeFeo can give you the contact information.
All right. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
John Marshall, again, 18 Woodbrook Way. Someone in the last, month or so has mentioned the installation of air conditioning units there, or that they haven't even done that yet. That's a whole nother bag of worms, and I remember the ice work situation, and we had the problem, what is now done, LLC, with the old shop, what was it, shop and bag or whatever? Shop bag. But they put stuff in there, it was a helicopter all the time, so they had to finally enclose that and to minimize that sound. It's the incessant, constant hum, that drives you nuts, like Chinese water torture. So anyway.
John, so to answer your point about the rooftop units, that has been mentioned, and you should recall from being on the planning commission, that was discussed about rooftop units, say that 100 times, rooftop units. And there's, I can't remember the whole name, but it's a sound fence that goes around the sides where the noise would be projected out. So that is something, like I say, that was in the plans. It was reviewed by Joe and you and that group. So that is something, and that is in all the conditions that were provided.
Okay, but that's
It's not just a thought. An afterthought.
Watching that, yeah.
It's not an afterthought. It is in the conditions. So and that will be enforced.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Appreciate your comments.
Dan Rippert, R-I-P-P-E-R-T, 22 Woodbrook Way. I don't want to beat a dead horse with the noise issue, but I do want to reiterate that it's not just my neighbors or my other neighbor John, but myself, my wife are having the same issue with the noise. It's you go outside and you can hear it, but it's not bad. But for some reason inside, and we have a split level, so when we're in our family room, our bedroom, it's almost like being on the second floor at home. It's just mad. It's disruptive. It's difficult to sleep. I mean, you can't when it's really going. You can't watch TV in the family room. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you can't. And it's great news to hear that you guys are going to assist them in putting up a sound barrier wall. But I hope the engineer does come out, and sits in my family room to understand where the hell this noise is coming from. And it's not
just the noise too, it's the vibration.
It's noise, vibration.
Yeah, both issues need to get looked at.
Exactly. I appreciate you guys working with them on that, but I do hope they do come out and physically stand in my room, my family room, to understand the issue that we're having.
They have to.
Does Mr. DeFeo have your email?
I don't believe anybody.
All right, if any of the residents, if you have a few minutes after the meeting, we want to make sure, because we want a quick response to you, to keep you updated on what's going on. So if we can, after the meeting, provide Mr. DeFeo your email address or a contact that you would like, so that we can quickly update you on what's going on.
He has David.
All right, but I just want to make sure anybody that's here that we don't have, make sure we get all that information.
I'd like to ask you a question. With the idea of vibration versus noise.
I don't know how many years ago it was, maybe 3 or so, we had a slight earthquake here in this area in Aston, so on. And I was downstairs in the, it's a front to back split, I was down in the family room or the laundry actually. And I didn't hear any noise, but I felt a vibration. And I'm wondering if it was similar to that, where you feel a vibration with no noise, you know? What I'm saying?
It's difficult to describe.
Yeah.
It's almost, I don't know, it's like a dog whistle,
Yeah.
It's just as high
They hear
pitched
you.
and I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna address it, please, if you just hang out for a few minutes, make sure we get everyone's contact information updated, so that, because we were gonna send out a statement anyway, just to update you, update the neighbors there, but we can email you, to get a quicker response and better notification of what we're doing. Okay?
That's fine, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, I'd like to move on to the next item, which is a meeting in Sendai, Commissioner Higgins.
I make a motion to place the meeting in Sendai.
Second, question, comments, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Jeff?
Thank you, President Stigall. On your agenda tonight is the hearing to consider an ordinance of Aston Township to repeal Chapter 1278.03, subparagraph C of the Aston Township zoning code. This is, pursuant to Section 609 of the Municipalities Planning Code, we are required to advertise public notice of tonight's hearing, which was done on December 6th and December 13th of the Delaware County Daily Times. This notice also include consideration of an ordinance making those changes. Prior to tonight's hearing, the application was reviewed by the Aston Township Planning Commission, which was held on November 15th, 2023, which recommended approval. The Delaware County Planning Commission also reviewed and recommended approval during their October 20, 2021 meeting. By way of background, the language in the zoning code is currently confusing, as it allows food processing by right in a limited industrial district in paragraph 1278.02. But then in section 1278.03, it is only permitted by conditional use. I can only assume that there was a distinction with food processing intended at the time that the ordinance was originally enacted, but moving forward, it is the recommendation of the ordinance committee that food processing be a permissible activity in the LI district, and therefore the language requiring conditional use approval should be repealed. Do you have any questions?
I don't. And any of the commissioners have any questions? No. Anyone in the audience have a question? Sure.
Nicholas Penza, 30 Morgan Road. I'm a bit confused because the Sindine's talking about chemical processes involving noxious odors and fires and explosions, but you're talking about food processing.
Well, that's the category of the ordinance. So when we're labeling a 1278.03, that's the whole title of that section. And then the subparagraph .03 is just related to food processing.
So how does it have to do with explosions?
That's the chapter heading. And then this just falls under that chapter.
Okay, so what's the contradictory language again?
Well, the contradictory language is in the paragraph preceding. It says that food processing is a permitted use by right. And then the next paragraph, it says that it's permitted by conditional use.
So one's, okay, I think I understand.
Right, so it's just confusing. It's contradictory. I assume that when this was originally enacted, people were thinking one activity is considered food processing, whereas another is different. I don't know. So we're just making it clear that it's a use permitted by right in the LI district.
Any other questions? We read the motion?
No. We can close the hearing and then move to the next matter. The motion.
All right, call on Commissioner Higgins, please.
I make a motion to take the meeting out of Sendai.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, go on to old business, line item A, consider the conditional use request for lot 59 Mount Pleasant Road. Commissioner McKinney, please.
Thank you, Commissioner Segal. Just a comment first. So whenever you look at anything in terms of conditional use, there's a number of factors that have to be considered. Primarily, if the proposed use is appropriate for the site in question, and if it serves the best interest of the residents. The proposed site, in this case, does not have a building out of which the business would be operated. We're not presented with plans showing the applicant's intention regarding building a structure or how the towing and storage facility would look in order to determine if it would impact the adjacent businesses. In addition to that, the applicant appeared before us, I believe that was our last month's meeting, with active zoning and building code violations for operating without a permit, without a business privilege license, and had installed a fence without calling 811, that's the call before you dig number, or securing a permit from the township. Therefore, I'll be making a motion momentarily, and I do not believe the proposed use of the property by this applicant serves the best interest of the residents of Aston Township. So therefore, I would make a motion to deny the conditional use application by Coach Tony.
All right, so I have a second motion to deny the applicant. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Application is denied. Thank you. New business, announce special meeting year-end. Commissioner Dockery.
I would like to announce the Aston Township special end-of-the-year meeting will be held on Thursday, December 29th, 2022 at 3 p.m. It will be held in the meeting room of the Aston Township Municipal Offices, 2 New Road, Suite 123, Aston Township, PA 19014.
Did you do both of them? A and B?
No, well,
We have another announcement lined up.
I did a presentation now, so.
Oh,
These two, so.
okay.
Did you read that?
Okay.
All right, so this evening I'll present the final 2023 budget for Aston Township. I'll be following the same general format I've used in previous years, but I've added a few additional slides. Tonight's presentation will be divided as follows. First, I'll review the 2022 millage for Aston Township versus other municipalities in Delaware County. Then I'll review the total assessed value of our properties in the township. Then I'll review some changes from the 2022 budget versus the 2023 budget. So we'll look at some cost drivers. Then we'll review the 2023 final budget, including expenses. We'll do a deeper dive into leases, the debt portfolio, and capital expenses. We'll review some of our revenues for 2023, expected revenues. We'll review the millage, the sanitation fees, and as I mentioned a moment ago, we'll talk about the final budget vote for next Thursday. And finally, I'll conclude with some acknowledgments. All right, so this is a new slide I've added this year. It shows the total property tax allocation for Aston Township. Many of our residents assume that all property taxes go to the township. That isn't even close to being the case. As you can see, Aston residents are such pre-taxing authorities. Delaware County, Aston Township, and the Penn-Douglas School District. Each assesses its own millage rate. The Delaware County millage rate for 2022 is 2.999 mils. This is 12.5% of your total property tax bill. Aston Township's 2022 millage rate was 3.336 mils. This accounts for 14% of your total property taxes. The county and township bills usually arrive in the mail around January. The final taxing authority was the Penn-Douglas School District, with a 2022 millage of 17.56 mils. This accounts for 73.5% of your total property tax bill. The school district bill usually arrives in the June-July timeframe. You can see the pie chart I've added to the right, which clearly shows how your property taxes are divvied up. The small orange slice showing 14% is Aston Township. The blue slice is the county, and the largest slice is the school district. The total millage for Aston Township residents in 2022 was 23.9 mils. All right, let me grab a drink real quick and look at this slide. This is also a new slide I've added for this year. This shows the total tax burden for all 49 municipalities in Delaware County. This includes all boroughs, cities, first and second class townships in Delaware County. As I mentioned in the previous slide, the total millage for Aston residents in 2022 was 23.9 mils. You can see that the number of that number places us in the bottom third of all Delco municipalities. Millages range from 12 to 67 depending on where you live in the county. Don't drive yourself crazy trying to read this slide right now. This presentation will be available on the Township's website for review tomorrow morning. The raw data for this table was extracted from the 2022 Delaware County tax rate table linked above. I like showing this slide every year. It shows where Aston's municipal tax rate stood in comparison with other first-class townships during 2022. You can see that millage rates range from 2.3 all the way up to 13. We're right in the bottom half of the pack. As I mentioned on the previous slide, these rates are available on the county website. Sorry, I lost my mouse. I provided the link to the right. The new tax rate should be available on the county website by late January. The thumbnail in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen shows the first page of the tax rate table. This slide shows the total tax burden of living in Aston Township compared to other first-class townships. This includes the total millage for township, county, and school district taxes. Again, data for this slide is pulled right from the county tax rate table linked to the right. The only townships with a lower overall tax rate than us are Marple and Radnor. Residents may recall that we underwent a court-ordered county-wide property reassessment several years ago. In fiscal year 2020, the total assessed property value for all taxable properties was $962 million. For fiscal year 2021, that number rose to $1.66 billion after the reassessment. You can see that the number fluctuated a little bit between fiscal year 2021, 2022, and 2023. For fiscal year 2023, we're looking at a total assessed value of $1.664 billion. This is the number we use when we calculate the annual millage rate for the township. These numbers aren't determined by the township, they are provided to us by the county. Now I'll discuss the changes from the 2022 budget. Highlight some cost drivers. Number one, we're expecting some significantly reduced permit revenue for the township. We're not expecting as much construction next year, and not all revenue comes from property taxes. A lot of our revenue comes from permits. Number two is we're not expecting any very large grants next year. Number three, we have the new municipal complex expense, which is the loan we took out a few months ago for $10 million. That is now included for the 2023 budget for the principal and interest, which I'll go into in more detail later. Number four is inflation. The township got hit with inflation just like everyone else. Everything costs more. One of the biggest drivers are fuel costs. We have the police and our public works use gasoline and diesel. That's a big expense for us. And finally, number five, we're looking at some reduced capital expenses for next year versus this year. All right, well, here it is. This is our expense budget for 2023. There hasn't been a whole lot of change from our preliminary budget that was presented last month. So the general operating budget, which I'll go into in more detail in a few minutes, this covers all the day-to-day expenses of the township, the police, fire, administration. The library expense is a pass-through as part of the, it's a separate millage rate added to our tax rate. Fire is the same thing, it's a pass-through. We have a separate line item in the millage for fire. Our total debt next year will be $1.57 million. That includes all principal and interest. Liquid fuels expense, this is the money we use for road programs and for street lights. And this comes to us from your liquid fuels taxes from the state. We have our sanitation expense, which is not part of the general operating budget. This is for our trash, it's $1.41 million. And finally, we're looking at some capital expenses next year of $357,000. So our total expenses for 2023, we're looking at $16,227,000. All right, so now balancing out the expenses, we have the revenue. So we're starting with some cash on hand, $2 million. And we have our real estate taxes of $4.8 million. The local Act 511 taxes, these are the real estate transfer taxes, earned income taxes, mercantile taxes, and business privilege taxes. We have license and fees, we have departmental earnings, which are somewhat lower than last year, mostly for code. We have the fire tax, we have the library tax, the sanitation fee, which we'll go into in a moment, the liquid fuels, which comes from the state, and then we have the special amount put aside for debt service called a sinking fund. So the total revenue balances out total expenses of $16,227,000. So these are the general operating expenses for the township. So we have our administration at $1.37 million. Included in the municipal maintenance account are the rental costs for the new township building, as well as liability insurance costs for the majority of our departments. The police budget is also reflecting rental costs for their new building. These expenses reflect a 3% salary increase for our non-uniformed staff, as well as a 2.5% increase for our police per the terms of our police contract. So you can see our total operating expenses are $12,021,000 for next year. All right, well, this is the slide everyone's waiting for. Our 2022 millage was 3.336 mils. That will be increasing in 2023 to 3.553 mils. This is a 6.5% increase over last year. You see the general operating millage increased to 3.025, which is a 6.6% increase. The debt service, due to the addition of the money for the new township building, is going up 10%. The fire tax and the library tax will remain the same. They will not change for next year. So our final assessed value is going to be 1.664 with a total millage rate of 3.5534. Most residents utilize township trash services. For those that do, we assess a sanitation fee on top of their millage. This money, the money collected by this fee is a pass-through that goes exclusively to our sanitation budget. In 2022, the township was charged $78 a ton to dispose of trash. We anticipate that this rate will increase to $89 a ton in 2023. Due to this increase and a significant jump in fuel costs for our trash trucks, we will be forced to raise our annual sanitation fee by $30 to $310 a year per household. This is what a property owner would expect to pay based on the revised millage and sanitation fee. So if your home is assessed at $100,000 in 2023, based on the millage of 3.55 and the $310 sanitation fee, your millage rate would be, your property tax would be $665, which would be a $51 increase over last year. A home assessed at $200,000, your property tax would be $1,020, which is a $73 increase over last year. Home assessed at $300,000, you pay $1,376, which is a $95 increase. And for a home assessed at $400,000, your bill would be $1,731, which is a $117 increase over last year. So here's a list of equipment we plan to procure in 2023. In past years, we have purchased equipment outright, but we are using a different strategy going forward. We'll be leasing large equipment and vehicles in the coming years. We feel that this is the most cost-effective means of providing services to our residents without breaking our budget. The equipment listed here for sanitation and public works are 5-year leases, and the police vehicles are 3-year leases. So the first two are the intersection cameras. The first line is the intersection cameras already are providing at 5 points at Pendleton Mill. The second line are for the 3 additional intersections. Those cameras should be up and running very soon. They're for the license plate readers and the overview cameras. With the 5 Dell computers for the police cars. We have 3 police cars we leased last year, the 2 patrol cars and 1 chief's car. The police are looking to lease an F-150 next year. Public Works is looking to lease another additional vehicle. And the towable lift, this would be year 2 of the lease for that, out of 5 years. All right, well, this is a new slide I'm adding this year. It shows our total township debt payments for 2023. You can see that we have older debt from 2010, 2012, and 2015, which will be paid off in the next few years. The 2018 bond issue was for $12 million and was used to build the new firehouse and Public Works building, both of which are now fully operational. We took out the 2022 loan for $10 million a few months back. This loan will be used for construction of the new township municipal complex. The total principal and interest payments for 2023 come out to $1.57 million. The township COVID relief money from the federal government, the township received COVID relief money from the federal government. This money is referred to as ARPA, the American Rescue Plan Act. We received half the money in 2021 and received the rest in 2022. We can only use those funds for limited projects, and one of those uses is stormwater management. And we have been able to restore quite a few stormwater basins in 2022, including basins 8 and 10, Scarlet, Houston, Megan, and Marie Circle. We plan to restore a few more projects in 2023, such as Weir and Blackthorn and Lineage. $357,000 in capital spending is planned for 2023. This comes from the general fund. $500,000 of stormwater improvement will come from the ARPA funds, which will be received in 2022. So the first line on there is the green light go. This is for the sinkhole lights, and this is for Concord Road. We have the Donnelly Avenue streetscape, which is a 30% match, $100,000. We're looking to put $100,000 towards the amphitheater project. We have the Llewellyn Dam project. And finally, we have the open space project for the Sisters of St. Francis. We're doing $25,000 for next year. So we're looking at total capital cost of $357,000. We won't be voting for the final budget this evening. The budget will be available for review on the township website or by visiting the township building at 2 New Road. This presentation will also be available online for public viewing by tomorrow morning. I'd like to thank the following people for their help in pulling the 2023 budget together and for their help in building this presentation. First, I'd like to thank our township manager, Bill DeFeo, our assistant township manager, Kelly Pippin, our township treasurer, Len Balstrieri, our chief of police, Dan Ruggieri, our public works director, Russ Palmore, finance committee member, Commissioner Les Berry, and finance committee member, Commissioner Mike Higgins. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. And again, that will be available on the township website for more review. All right, moving on, we have a consider a motion to repeal contractual language contained in chapter 1278.03 of the Aston Township zoning code. Commissioner Bell.
Thank you, President Sadal. I make a motion to repeal language contained in chapter 1278.03C of the Aston Township zoning code, which includes chemical processes not involving noxious odors or danger from fire or explosion. That's in the form of a motion.
Second.
I have a second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. I'd like to move on to line item C, consider a resolution approving the 2023 sanitation fee. Commissioner Tony Grant.
All right, this is Township of Aston, Delaware County, PA, resolution number 2022-163. Whereas the Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania desires to establish a fee for the trash and garbage service for the year 2023 at $310 per single family unit. Therefore be it resolved that this trash and garbage fee is due and payable on or before March 31st, 2023. The face amount due by May 31st, 2023. And being further resolved that if this fee is not paid by June 1st, 2023, and until such fee is paid, a notice shall be sent to the owners of such properties, informing them that the collection will cease until the fee plus 10% penalty paid. Resolved by the Aston Township Board of Commissioners this 21st day of December 2022. Tim Stegall, President, and Kelly Piven attaching in the form of a motion.
I have a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Next item, consider resolution for the 2023 Township holiday schedule. Commissioner Booth.
Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, resolution number 2022-164, holiday schedule for Aston Township non-uniform employees for 2023. New Year's Day. Do you want the dates read?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the
New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Day, President's Day, Good Friday, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Columbus Day, Thanksgiving Day, Day after Thanksgiving, Christmas Day, and their birthday. 3 personal days with department head approval. The above schedule has been duly adopted. Mr. Gale present, the commissioners, Kelly Piven, in the form of a motion.
Second.
I have second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next item, line item E, consider a resolution to submit a small water sewer grant. Commissioner Pendergrass.
Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, resolution number 2022-165, be resolved that the Aston Township, Delaware County hereby requests a PA small water sewer program grant of $346,441 from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for railroad stormwater improvements. Be it further resolved that the applicant does hereby designate the Golden Fayette Township Manager, James Stegall, President, Board of Commissioners, as the official to execute all documents and agreements between Aston Township and the Commonwealth Financing Authority to facilitate and assist in obtaining the requested grant. I, Golden Fayette, duly qualified Township Manager of Aston Township, PA, hereby certifies that the foregoing is a true and correct copy of the resolution duly adopted by the majority vote of the Board of Commissioners at a regular meeting. And said resolution has been recorded in the minutes of Aston Township and remains in effect as of this date. The witness thereof, I fix.
Yes.
Bring this in the form of a motion.
Second. I have second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item F, consider a motion to adopt technology acceptable use policies for the township employees. Commissioner Higgins.
Thank you. I make a motion to adopt a technology acceptable use policy for township employees, commissioners, and consultants. Form of a motion.
Second. Questions or comments?
I'd like to make a comment, just so everybody wonders, what adopting a technology acceptable use policy is. This is the use policy for township computers and township computer systems and phones. So with the employees and so forth using them, there's got to be a policy that the wrong things are not, the phones and the computer systems aren't used for the wrong thing. And also has to do with a policy for logging on and for safety reasons and for you don't have scams and that kind of stuff. So that's what that's for.
That was your comment?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. No, I don't want to read that. All right, line item G, consider a motion to accept the bid from Superior Tank and Energy for the removal of the tank. Commissioner Pendergrass.
I make a motion to accept the bid from Superior Tank and Energy of Bristol, PA, in the amount of $14,040 to remove the 4,000-gallon underground gasoline tank at the old public works site located at 5021 Tunnel Road, Aston, PA 19014, in the form of a motion.
I have second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item H, consider a motion approving the refund. Commissioner Doherty.
I make a motion to approve the refund to Mark Urvello in the amount of $1,074.47 for duplicate taxes paid in the form of motion.
Second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item I, consider a motion approving the refund of taxes. Commissioner Dockery.
I make a motion to approve the refund to Brittany Lindsay and Robert Wellbrook of Aston in the amount of $1,300.56 for duplicate taxes paid in the form of motion.
Second.
May I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item J, consider a motion approving the refund of taxes. Oh, it's happening a lot. Commissioner Dockery.
I make a motion to approve the refund to Catherine Finnegan of Aston in the amount of $964.98 for duplicate taxes paid in the form of motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item K. Guess what? Consider a motion to approve the refund. Commissioner Dockery.
I make a motion to approve the refund to Frank Reinhold of Aston in the amount of $1,116.05 for duplicate taxes paid in the form of motion.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Call on Commissioner Higgins, escrow releases.
Thank you. Tonight, we're lucky we don't have any individual escrow returns, just two summary amounts. The following amount is for engineering fees to be paid to Canoni Associates for the month of December, a total of $5,655.50 in the form of a motion.
I have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
One more. The following amount is for engineering fees to be paid to Cirelli Associates, Inc. for the month of December, a total of $100.50 in the form of a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, anybody else, any comments from the public before we move on? Okay. So I'd like to call Commissioner Dockery.
Merry Christmas, everyone. I'll see the commissioners next Thursday.
Thank you. Commissioner Pendergrass?
Yeah, same thing. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone. I'd just like to say one more thing. Thank you, Woodbrook Way, for coming and expressing what's going on over there. And then everybody in the board knows. Thank you.
Commissioner Berry?
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and have a safe Happy New Year.
Thank you. Commissioner Higgins?
Yes. I'd also like to thank the residents of Woodbrook Way for their understanding, but I feel bad that you have to put up with these problems, and just want to assure you that we're working hard to try to resolve these problems. So thank you for coming and expressing yourself tonight. Okay? And also, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Commissioner Booth?
Just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Commissioner McGinn?
Merry Christmas, everyone. That's it for me tonight.
Commissioner DeFeo?
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Nothing?
Hi, Commissioner, I'm sorry, you kind of slid past me for the public comment part, if I may.
Yes, we'll allow it.
Okay. Yeah, Jesse Brundage, 861 Aspen Road.
Can you spell your name, please?
Brundage.
First name?
Jesse, like Jesse James. I just had a small issue about the Lewis Fisher Park, which is pretty close to my house. I enjoy walking on the trail there, but lately, I guess with the weather and everything, the weeds have kind of taken over and maybe the latter part of the trail, so it makes it difficult to walk down there. And I know I've spoken to some of the other people, like Fisher people use it, you know, people walking their dogs, nature lovers, and I'm a hiker, so I was hoping that maybe the township might be able to replenish the gravel, because the gravel, like going down to the trail, down to the creek, is good, it's really nice. When it goes along the creek, it starts to deteriorate, and then at the end, it's like really overgrown, and it's not so much like getting through it that the danger of Lyme disease, which really bothers me, you know, and it's prevalent in this area. So I just wanted to bring that up to the Thanks for the question.
Mr. DeFeo made a note of that, and we'll take care of it.
We'll address that tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay. My turn. All right, I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, Woodbrook. We will look into that situation for you. We're just going to ask everybody, there's some bad weather coming into town. Please be careful out there while you go visiting and things like that. We're going to make sure the Public Works is on top of conditions on the roadway, but please, try not to drink and drive. There's kids out there off of school. So we want everybody to enjoy this holiday. So with that, I just want to wish everyone again Merry Christmas. Without any motion to adjourn. Thank you.